Yo, what's going on, gamers? Your boy iMaverick with a special video. And by special, I mean we about to give away some games. Now, this video and giveaway is sponsored by the good people at Leap Trade. Sponsored video is a fancy way of saying they gave me some money. That's just keeping it real. That's full disclosure. I always like to say that up front. They hit me up, was like, yo, check out our site. We think it's dope. I was like, cool. What can we do for my subs though? Can we swing a little bit of a giveaway? They was like, yeah, I'm saying, yeah, we could probably do that. I was like, cool. So we'll have all the details about that at the end of the video, but let me go ahead and review the site. So just like everything else that I review, I'm always upfront with brands. Like, yo, I gotta keep it 100 with my Maverick fam, because if I don't, these reviews won't hold no weight. So Leap Trade was in full understanding that I was gonna keep it real. I was gonna review the site and let you guys know my experience, no matter how good or how bad it was. So thankfully for them and me, I liked it. I really did like the site. Of course, there's pros and cons like with almost everything, but we're gonna cover that. All right, so what is Leap Trade? How I explain it is it's like a big used game marketplace. It's a place where you can go to find affordable used games, but you can also trade in your used games and get a lot more value than you would in other places like GameStop or Best Buy. And that's it in a nutshell. It's very simple. If you've navigated any other site and bought something online, you'll be able to use this. You can search which game you want. You see a game you like, you get it. Or it's easy to upload your games that you have and list them for sale. Now, I actually have used this website. I'm not feeding you guys some script that they gave me. I legit tried the website and I'm sharing my experiences with you. So I did 2 trades here, as you can see in my history, and it was really simple. I went on and I was looking for 2 retro games that I could not find locally. And that's one of the pros for this website, and we'll kind of get to that in a minute, but there's a decent variety of games, whether it's new releases, even going back to other systems, you know, Xbox, PlayStation 1, PS2, there's like a nice retro selection. And so I couldn't find Mario Party 3 and Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. But it's really simple. So for example, the system I went for both of my trades was N64. So you just click on the Nintendo 64 and then there's a list of games here. I only got $5 credit, so I'm just gonna actually walk you through one of these. So let's say I wanted NFL Quarterback Club 99. Really simple. I just click buy and it'll let me know what's available, whether they have full package ones available, the disc plus the case, or just the disc only. And I think both of these that I got in my previous trades were disc only. So they just came shipped in like the little protection-y foam package sender stuff. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So let's say I want a Quarterback Club. All right, we're going disc only. We click that and then we hit buy now for 5 credits. We got 5 credits up here. It's $5. Buy now. Simple as that. So now the person that's selling this, in this case, his name is Ninja Aztec. He's gonna get a notification to get it ready and send it out to me. Simple as that. Once I get it, I update the trade. I give him feedback so people know he's legit, and then we're done. Like this, I'm done here. This trade has been submitted. The cool part too is it's also really easy to cancel. So if you change your mind like I just did, because I already have this game, we can cancel that trade like so, because Ninja Aztec has to approve it. I clicked cancel. Yes, it's done. As you can see, that's been canceled and I got my $5 credit back. So ordering both of these was really simple. It might have taken me 5 minutes total, because as soon as I saw the games, I knew I wanted them because I couldn't find them locally. I clicked a few buttons and I had the games within about a week. Alright, so I showed you how it works. Now let's wrap it up with some of the pros and the cons. Hands down, the biggest pro is saving money. Using Leap Trade is going to save you a lot of money. The beauty of Leap Trade is they actually give you more credit than you're going to get from going to GameStop, trading it with Best Buy or Amazon. So just an example, you were to trade in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare on PS4 to Best Buy, you're gonna get 17 bucks. Amazon's gonna give you $13.67, and Leap Trade $32.60. Grand Theft Auto 5 for Xbox One, $33 at Best Buy, $24 with Amazon, and $47.50 with Leap Trade. Dying Light for the PS4, $17 at Best Buy, $13.24 for Amazon, and a $40 credit when you go through Leap Trade. So that right there is the no-brainer. I mean, you're getting way more back in credit than you are anywhere else, especially somewhere like GameStop. So in that sense, I really like Leap Trade because they're like They're like the Robin Hood of used games, you know what I mean? They're like, you know, because you go to GameStop, you might trade something, you get like $18, but they resell it for $50. Here at Leap Trade, they're not doing that. So they're like the little Robin Hood that's like, yeah, we're giving you fair value on your trade-ins, which is awesome. Especially for the people that, you know, just don't got the money to buy a lot of games throughout the year. Maybe you only get a handful of games. Well, when you're done with them, you got a better chance of flipping that game and getting a new one with Leap Trade. Which brings me to the next pro, which is kind of just an extension of the first one. You can trade not only for credits, you can also trade game for game. So I have my collection here. I can add a game to my collection right there. But let's say I wanted to sell one of the ones I already have on the site. I just hit sell. You know, here's the current price as soon as my computer starts being slow. So there's a current price I can list it for, and it's simple. I list it for sale, all right? Or I can say, you know, I want to trade for another game, right? Or I can say, you know, I can open it up for credit or another game. So there's a little bit of flexibility there when you're not just trading straight for credits. You can trade for another game. So if the combination of being able to barter for another game that you want, you know, game for game, or also just being able to sell your game straight up for credits, Leap Trade is the best option that I've seen when it comes to buying and selling used games. The next pro, which is an extension of the first one, you know, saving money, is that it's free. There's no membership fees. They don't tax you on your sales. You just got to pay for the shipping. So you can start an account right now and it's free. So you could start an account right now and have all of your used games up for sale in 10-15 minutes. Or if you don't have any games to start with, you could literally buy credits, and the credits is dollar for dollar. So $5 gets you $5 worth of credits, $50 worth of credits. And with some of the games going really cheap, $50 could go a long way. The next pro, and probably the biggest one when you're dealing with something that's online based like this, is that there's zero risk with it. They have their Leap Trade guarantee. So if you have anything shady that goes on with the other person sending the game, whether, you know, you use your credits and the game doesn't come, or when you get it the game is damaged, you know, it doesn't work, anything like that, they're gonna cover that and they're gonna refund it 100%. I thought that was pretty big because that was my biggest concern. You know, these used Nintendo 64 games from my local spot, and some of those games haven't worked, and of course they honored it and they allowed me to trade games back, but I wasn't sure you'd be able to do that on Leap Trade. And so that was cool. They will cover everything 100% if you have any issues. Now they're gonna review everything on a case-by-case basis, and if they find out something foul went down, then you get your credits back. And of course, all this information is in their FAQs. It's really easy to access on their website. It's just right here on the left side under FAQs, and they explain all this in detail. There's also the ability to give feedback on users. So if you have a bad experience with someone, you can leave negative feedback, and other people can see that before they do business or any trades with that person. And someone that has consistently negative feedback, they're gonna deal with that person. So that's really cool. You kind of have that security and that peace of mind when you're, you know, trying to find the right game. There's also a cool bonus in the fact that they have a pretty active forum. Now, I'm not a forumer guy, person, whatever you call someone that frequents forums, but when scrolling through here, you know, I saw that it was pretty active. They have posts, you know, saying a lot of posts from today, posts from yesterday, so it's pretty active. So if you have any kind of questions, concerns, it's a great place to go get feedback. They're also active on Twitter, and they have a contact or a support email, so it's not hard to get in contact with them should you need any kind of help. And the last pro, which I kind of already touched on, was the variety of games. It was awesome for me to be able to go back and get a Nintendo 64 game, because the moment that they contacted me, I was really going through that retro phase. You know, I was super hype on getting all the old systems, and I was struggling to find these two games, Super Smash Bros. And Mario Party 3. They're really rare games, and they're hard to find. And so the fact that I was able to search back and find a Nintendo 64 game, that was cool. I can't just walk into GameStop and get a Nintendo 64 game. So I thought that was cool, and they got a lot of systems. They got the Game Boy Advance, you know, PSP. So you have options here for anyone that's, whether you're you're into the new releases, the ones that are just dropping, or you want to go back and get something retro. All right, now let's talk about some of these cons. I got two of them, maybe one. Depending on, you know, how you get down. So the first one, and this is the one that might not be a con for some people, but that would just be that it's online based. So it's not as instant. You know, you have to wait. And for someone like me, sometimes I like being able to just drive down the street and pick something up. I'm the person that always does next day shipping on something. Like if I want something, I want it now. So although I only had to, it was less than a week that I had to wait for my games. For me, I was still kind of like, ugh. And what's funny is I haven't even played them yet. I have not even played them yet. I put them in to make sure that they worked, but I haven't even played these. So I was itching for them to get here, and I really didn't need to be. But so yeah, if you're someone that just wants things and you want them now, the fact that you gotta, wait up to a week to get your game, that could be a legit con for someone. And the number 2 con is that your selection is going to be limited. You're just not going to be able to find any single game that you want. And sometimes their library is going to fluctuate depending on what games people have posted, and what's not posted. So if we're on the Xbox One right now, you see some new releases. And the beauty is that, you'll come across games and you'll get good deals on some games that are posted, but then there'll be other games that just aren't posted. And so, it'll vary. Sometimes it's really hot and there's a lot of good games on there, and then sometimes there's a slower period and the game you want might not be on here. But they do have a really good way of filtering through games. You can even search directly for the game that you want, so you'll know if the game you want is on there. But that's a definite con. They got a nice selection from retro all the way to the newer releases and everything in between, but it's a bit scattered. So you might have your eyes set on a game and it might not be on there, and you might have to wait or hop on the forum, or just, it just might not be available right when you want it. So there it is, y'all. That's my review of Leap Trade. Gave you the pros, the cons. Overall, if I had to give the website a grade, I would go A minus. Only thing from it being like A+++, oh yeah, it's just the one legit con that I had is that there just wasn't an abundance of every game available in life. But when I think about it, that's not even the case with used games. When I go into GameStop, or what I've been doing a lot lately is my local, used game store, Noble. They don't have everything either, so maybe that's not a fair mark off, but still a good site. I'm definitely going to consider putting some of my games up there because it's going to work perfectly. I got my Let's Play channel, so I blow through games, I beat them, and I don't really play them no more. So usually what I do is I take into GameStop and get like my $15 or whatever. I just bite the bullet, and eventually I get enough games and it stacks up for a free game. Well, here, instead of going to GameStop and having to buy 3 or 4 games and trade those in to get one game, I can play 1 or 2 games, get a lot more value here, and then get another game, whether it's a newer release or just using it back for retro games. So I'll definitely be using the site. If you decide to use the site, please let me know your experience. Leave your feedback in the comments. Get at me on Twitter. I want to know how it goes for you. I really do. But yeah, after my review, love the site. Leap Trade, thumbs up. IMAV, stamp of approval. Great guys, great website. As far as I know, they're not Cowboys fans, so they get the Maverick stamp of approval. Check them out. All right, now the moment most of y'all been waiting for. The giveaway. It's real simple, man. We're gonna do it over social media. So all you gotta do, go to leaptrade.com, sign up for a free account. It's free, right? Then go over here. They got their Twitter right on the website. Go follow them on Twitter. All right, go over to the Twitter profile, follow them. As you can see, I'm already following them. All right, that's step 1 of 3. Step 2, share this video. Step 3, include the hashtag LeapTrade when you share the video. Really simple. Allow me to demonstrate with one of my videos. We're on the video, we click share, we click Twitter, boom, already sexy, ready to share. We can add hashtag Leap Trade to the end. It can be as simple as that. You can get real fancy with it. You can customize it. Be like, yo, let me get that free game though. Boom, hashtag Leap Trade. Real simple. Maybe delete it off the end because no need to double dip. If you want, you can just copy the link directly from YouTube. Copy, go over to Twitter, paste the link. Yo, check this out. Hashtag Leap Trade. So it's really simple. Let's recap. Step 1, go follow Leap Trade on Twitter. Number 2, share the video. Number 3, include the hashtag Leap Trade when you share. Alright, now by doing that, you are entered into the giveaway. That's it. Once you've done that, you're entered to win. We're going to follow up with 2 people on Twitter. Each winner gets to pick a game of their choice. Simple as that. You get to pick any game. It doesn't have to be a game that's on the website. Any game that you want. Could be a new release. You get it for free. I told y'all, I got y'all. It's as simple as that. We're gonna give the giveaway a few days to marinate, let people enter, and then we're gonna pick the winners and follow up with them on Twitter. Now, we do ask that if you win, you send us a twit pic, just some sort of proof when you actually get the game, just so we can share that and we have that social proof that people know these giveaways aren't fake. Before I go, I want to give the people at Leap Trade a big thanks for giving me this opportunity, not only to review the website, but also to bless my subscribers with the giveaway, because that wasn't part of the initial offer. That was something I asked for, and they made it happen, so I thought that was really cool of them. So big thanks to Leap Trade. Enter that giveaway. Good luck. Appreciate you guys watching. God first. God bless.